Hey guys, welcome back to Cooking Through History, episode number 2. Hopefully you were able to catch us last week. We talked about celebrities of the Civil War, did a little homemade pizza. Today's topics, all right? So the cuisine will be air-fried burritos. So technically, I don't know if that makes them chimichangas since they're fried, but we're gonna make some burritos and we're gonna throw them in the air fryer to get that little crunch. A few different styles of burritos, we'll walk through it. And then our history topic is going to be my top 3 battles of the Civil War. And again, that's just my top 3 battles. You guys have probably all heard of them, but we'll throw out some little data, some facts about those battles, and then kind of what I think you should know, the significance, kind of question you would come across on a history test, why was the battle of such and such important, right? And so we'll be able to identify that as well. If you watched the video last week and you are in my U.S. history class, I sent you an assignment. I gave you the 10 celebrities of the Civil War, 5 on each side, and your assignment was to give me 3 of your own on each side. And you could not take from my list. You had to come up with your own 3 Union celebrities, your own 3 Confederate. So make sure you get that assignment turned in to me. That would be great. And here we go, episode 2. I want to go over some of the key components. First, for our burritos, we're going to have chicken. This chicken was prepared yesterday. A little olive oil, salt, pepper, paprika, some garlic powder. I threw that on the grill, kind of high heat, for about 10 minutes. 5-ish minutes each side, just to kind of get a little bit of a char, some grill marks, and then I went the rest of the way on smoker setting, and got kind of that smoke sensation to the chicken. I don't know, about 200, 225 degrees. We've got our guacamole, so avocados, plenty of lime juice, red onions, cilantro, and garlic powder. We'll go for kind of our healthier burrito. We're going to use a whole wheat tortilla with kind of a black bean mix here. So it's got some pepper, some cilantro, black beans, red onions, lime juice, and then hit that with some paprika and chili powder and some garlic powder. We're also going to, with that, use sweet potato fries, and I just kind of threw those in the air fryer. Some of the other burritos will have the air fried potatoes, so I just use basic russet potatoes. I hit those with some seasoning, some olive oil, and threw those in the air fryer. And then, we've got tortillas, we've got some Colby Jack cheese, we've got some leftover queso in here. It's actually kind of the first major battle of the Civil War. That is going to be the first battle of Bull Run. The Union calls it Bull Run, and the Confederate historians kind of call it more the Battle of Manassas Junction. Extra credit. Hey, tell me why the Union calls it Bull Run and why the Confederacy calls it Manassas Junction, okay? Shoot me an email, respond to the video, let me know. Okay, so first battle, Bull Run, kind of the first major engagement on both sides. I think, over 60,000 soldiers are there. Only like 15,000 on each side actually fight. They didn't attack with all their forces, but First Battle Bull Run is about 25 miles from D.C., okay? So kind of significant territory here. Both sides, obviously the Confederacy wants to get as close to D.C. as they can, and the Union does not want their capital to fall, right? So this is kind of an important battle right away. Union commander is Irvin McDowell, and the Confederacy, we talked about him last week, but the Confederacy commander, top general here, is going to be P.G.T. Beauregard, right? So this is before he ruffles some feathers and before he kind of gets shifted to the other theater of the war. Okay, so first battle, Bull Run. It's going to be some 5,000 casualties, right? Which nobody really saw coming. I think, for a lot of what I've kind of read is there are a lot of parts of the country and politicians and soldiers and generals who really thought this battle might not even take place, that everybody get lined up and they'd show off their shiny rifles and their new uniforms. But when it came down to it, it's still Americans versus Americans, right? It's brothers versus brothers, cousins versus cousins. So a lot of people didn't really think this battle would ever take place. And 5,000 casualties, that's a lot, right? And, that kind of brings us to the significance, why we want to study this battle is it kind of showed the Civil War was legit. It was going to happen. It was going to be real, right? There hadn't been any major battles yet. And so when you see 5,000 casualties, when you see a battle go on for hours and hours, and when you see, armies retreating, it's kind of a big deal. Yeah, Emmy?
Why
Hold on. All right, sorry guys. Emmy wanted to be a part of the video. So she wants to learn a little bit more about the Civil War as well. Emmy, can you say hi? Can you say hi? Good girl. Okay, so again, this battle showed with all the casualties and all the attacking. It showed that the Civil War is going to be, like I said, legit. There was going to be bloodshed and there was going to be death, and people thought maybe it'd be a very quick, uneventful war. And this kind of showed it's going to go on probably years and years, and there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. There's going to be a lot of brutality. Now, it's something else maybe to know would be. As soon as this battle is over, Abraham Lincoln, you have your sunglasses. Abraham Lincoln calls for 500,000 additional soldiers, volunteers for the war, and Jefferson Davis in the Confederacy calls for 400,000 more soldiers. We are well on our way to making our first burrito. I'm going to show you guys that one in a second. It's going to be the vegetarian burrito, so we'll get to that. Before we do, I'm going to introduce the Battle of Antietam. So we know that as the Battle of Antietam. If the Confederacy would have won the war, you would know that as the Battle of Sharpsburg. So again, why does the Union call it one thing and why does the Confederacy call it something else, right? So we're talking September 1862. This is the bloodiest single day in American history, okay? It's the first time that Robert E. Lee ever, I guess you could call it, invaded the North, invaded the Union. So this is going to be the first time he goes onto the offensive in the Civil War, where he, instead of fighting in the southern, the Confederacy land, he's going to take the war into the Union, right? So he gets into Maryland, what's going to be known as the Battle of Antietam. It's an all-day affair. It's like 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., probably sunset. But it's the single bloodiest day in American history. Now, that shouldn't come as too much of a shock because it's Americans killing Americans, right? We're not really fighting a foreign entity. So there's going to be thousands of deaths here. We're going to get into that in a little. Something kind of interesting to note here is the legend has it, and some historians will maintain, that a Union soldier actually came across Robert E. Lee's battle plans. It's kind of nicknamed the Lost Order, in which, not just for this battle, but Lee's plans to invade the Union, right? Lee's plans to march north. So you can actually kind of, I guess, infer that this battle was so bloody because the Union actually kind of had his plans. And again, not all the X's and O's, not specifically Antietam, but they knew where he was going, kind of when he was going, how many soldiers were going this way or that way. And so the Union kind of heads him off at Antietam. Again, it's called the Lost Order. Essentially these plans that he had lost. Allegedly, he had a bunch of cigars, and this order, or a copy of the order, was wrapped around these cigars, and a Union soldier, an enemy soldier, kind of came across those. So yeah, you could infer that this battle was as bloody as it was, and this battle took place where it took place because the Union kind of was able to uncover a copy of the battle plans. Might be a little bit more likely, yet just my opinion, that a spy, was involved somehow, that maybe the Union got a spy into Lee's camp and was able to steal these. Or maybe there's kind of like a double agent or a traitor, somebody who was a Confederate soldier who took the plans and gave them to the Union, right? However it is, the legend has it that someone just kind of came across them, and now all of a sudden, McClellan and Lincoln, they have access to Lee's invasion plan into the Union. Right. Again, have some sweet potato fries. We got the black beans, which again has some lime juice, some cilantro, some peppers, some red onions. We have the guacamole, which has much of the same. I'm going to kind of hit it with just some store-bought red taco sauce and store-bought green salsa verde, and then we're going to throw that puppy in the air fryer. But this is we are back to Antietam. So Antietam, September 17th, 1862. We talked about single bloodiest day in American history. That's going to be in the neighborhood of about 22,000 casualties. That's the single bloodiest day in American history. So again, Lee kind of lost some plans. Union gets a hold of it. The war, or the battle, is, I guess, technically going to be a Union victory because Lee does retreat. He abandons the battlefield. not a great victory for like X's and O's tactics and stuff like that, but the significance, right? So if you're being tested on this, you probably need to know that with this victory, right, you know, the Union being able to kick Lee out, you know, Lee trying to invade and the Union saying, nope, not going to happen. Because of that victory, Lincoln uses this victory, this morale booster, to issue the Emancipation Proclamation, right? So freeing the slaves. So in all states currently rebelling against the U.S. government, slavery was banned. All those slaves were freed. Okay, so any state that was officially part of the Confederacy, the U.S. government had freed their slaves. Now, we're not going to get into the Emancipation Proclamation in detail because this is about the Battle of Antietam. But again, this is a war measure. This inspires a lot of slaves to run away to join the Union, you know, and that kind of hurts the economy of the Confederacy. What else you need to know is you kind of have Great Britain sitting on the fence thinking like, yeah, maybe we kind of want to help out the Confederacy. We like, you know, getting cotton from them, sugar from them, rice, wheat, you know, whatever it might be, specifically cotton. And maybe a part of us kind of doesn't like the tariffs and the prices that, you know, Boston and New York, you know, that they kind of charge Great Britain. So Great Britain's kind of thinking about maybe helping the Confederacy when they lose, right, and they show they are not able to invade the Union. Great Britain kind of takes a step back, says, it might not be worth it. So again, Battle of Antietam, single bloodiest day in American history, the Lost Order. You've got Lincoln using this as a chance to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. You've got Great Britain who's kind of sitting there thinking, nah, probably isn't worth it. And the last thing I would say about Antietam is probably, you know, for quite a while, Lee is going to be forced to retreat to fight most of the war in the South. While he does return to the North, it's still important that he is forced to retreat because that is going to help kind of the Union be able to physically destroy a lot of the South, a lot of the Confederacy, a lot of, you know, the battles being fought there and the total warfare and, you know, dismantling towns and railroads and telegraph lines and farms. So as Lee retreats, you know, the Union is able to kind of, you know, actually destroy some of the South. Okay. Now we're going to go check in on my wife's requested burrito. So we've got the chicken, we've got queso, we've got sour cream, we have Colby Jack cheese, we've got black bean, the black bean little combo that I made, and then we have white rice. Okay, so we'll fold this sucker up. We'll get that one and the vegetarian one in the air fryer. Going in for round one, we have Emmy's. That is just going to be straight chicken and cheese burrito. Taylor's kind of stuffed burrito, which you would find on the Upchuck food truck. And depending on how this vegetarian one plays out, maybe you find it on the Upchuck food truck. Introduce here the Battle of Gettysburg before we get started on making the next round of burritos. Probably the most famous battle from the Civil War. If nothing else, it's because you're a fan of The Office, and you might have seen the episode where they kind of go on the little work trip or field trip to Gettysburg. July 1st through 3rd, 1863. It's going to be the bloodiest battle of the Civil War. Not bloodiest single day, but bloodiest battle. I think it's 60,000 casualties, maybe in the neighborhood of like 10,000 killed. But this is an important battle, okay? So Lee has returned to the north. He has a plan, a campaign in which he wants to invade Pennsylvania, where Gettysburg is, and he's able to get there, right? And so now you have General George Meade versus Robert E. Lee. They're kind of spotting off here at Gettysburg. You know, history tells us that Gettysburg was known of having kind of an abundance of shoes. And so the Union was well aware of that, and the Confederacy was also well aware of that. And because shoes were kind of in shortage, you know, that made Gettysburg kind of an attractive spot in which, you know, armies might converge. So a 3-day battle, 60,000 casualties, probably considered the turning point of the Civil War. It's going to be kind of like the Saratoga of the Revolutionary War, if you remember that. All right, so I made a couple more basic ones. You know, pretty typical of what you get at like Qdoba, Chipotle, stuff that would be at the Upchuck food truck. And then this one here is a buffalo chicken rice. So it's got buffalo sauce, it's got ranch, it's got chicken, it's got rice. Amy, what are you eating?
A burrito.
A burrito. How is it?
Good.
You like it? Give thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right. So back to Gettysburg, 1863, turning point of the war. What you need to know, and we talked about Pickett's charge, but so on the third day, July 3rd, Lee is going to spend about 2 hours, the largest bombardment, cannon fire, constant for 2 hours at the Union lines, right? Because he's planning on sending Pickett and his men, to charge, to attack the center of the Union lines. And Meade was kind of ready for it, the general for the Union. And so for all those 2 hours, towards the end of the 2 hours, Meade stopped firing back. And this gave Lee the impression that that all of this bombardment had knocked out the Union cannons, right? And that the Union had been kind of destroyed. So he sends Pickett and about 12,000 men across an open field for almost a mile. And unfortunately, Lee was wrong. Unfortunately for Lee, he was wrong. And as these men march across this open field, they're kind of mowed down. Over 50% casualty rate here of these thousands of soldiers who march across. Thousands of them are never able to fight again. And that is kind of what ultimately dooms Lee, and they're never able to really recover from this. After 3 years of fighting a war, you don't have hundreds of thousands of men to spare. And so when you lose thousands in one march, that kind of really sets you on the heels. It gets Lee back to the South, the Confederacy, and he's never able to invade the North again. He retreats and he retreats and he retreats. And that's basically the rest of the war, a continuous retreat by Lee and his men. Again, Great Britain kind of sitting there watching this. They see what happens, and there's no way, no how now. After 3 years of fighting and the Confederacy is turned back again in the North, there's no way that they're going to help the Confederacy, moving forward. Some cool things that happen as a result. There are 72 medals of honor actually issued during this. And one of the coolest stories you can look at is a guy by the name of Joshua Chamberlain, who's actually a college professor. He gets this Medal of Honor award for the role that he plays with his men, and I think they're all from Maine. But the role he plays with his men in defending a place called Little Round Top. It's really, really fascinating, really cool. I'm not going to share it with you guys because I'm going to allow you to do that for your assignment if you choose to. But, one of the coolest stories you can come across for Medal of Honor, and that's Joshua Chamberlain. Gettysburg, turning point of the war, bloodiest battle of the war. And, another significance you would want to know is this actually happens at the same time as Vicksburg. And Vicksburg is really important. You guys can do that for your assignment. But Vicksburg is really important because within 24 hours of each other, Lee is kicked out of the South, right? The Union defends its home turf, and Lee is sent, packing, running away. And then Grant is actually in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and he wins this Battle of Vicksburg, which gives the Union total control over the Mississippi River. Vicksburg and Gettysburg happening, within 24 hours is just a huge, huge crushing blow to the Confederate hopes. So after this, right, this victory, the last significance here, after this victory for the Union, morale is increasing. People are supporting the war. People are thinking, yes, we are going to win. We are going to defeat the South. And so morale and support is high. For the Confederacy, not so much, right? People are not supporting the war effort. Here we are, 3 years of blood and death, and people, losing their husbands and sons. And support is not high, right? All right, so we just got into the buffalo chicken one. Kind of see here, you got the buffalo sauce, got the ranch, the rice, the chicken, steam coming out, nice crisp on the outside. The next one was for Taylor, for my wife. So again, you've got the rice. I threw some potatoes in there for her this time. You got the beans, and this is the triple cheese one. So we got queso, spicy queso, Colby Jack cheese. Here you go. So all done with the episode today. So hopefully you learned a little bit about the menu that might be on the Upchuck food truck, but also about the first Battle of Bull Run, the Battle of Antietam, and the Battle of Gettysburg. Hi, say hi, buddy. Say hi. Hi. Say hi. Hi, good boy. I will be sending out to my American History kids, we'll be sending out a little homework assignment to follow up with a video, in which you're going to have to do some research on your own battles. But, all right, guys, take care until week 3. See ya.